Mr. Chaudhary, I'm going to request you. Mr. Chaudhary, I'm going to request you to felicitate all our guests of honor. Can we have the felicitation gifts, please? Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary. All our guests of honor are looking very fashionable indeed. Thank you. Mr. Chaudhary, I'm going to request you to stay on stage. Mr. Joe Sengyun Cho, I'm going to request you to stay on stage.